We are going to be looking at the Purchases Day Book. We already know that the Purchases Day Book is a specific book of account. Now, the Purchases Day Book is also a book of account used for recording specific transaction. And that transaction is purchases made on credit by the organization. Remember, because it is specific, and I've told you that it must be the business products or the goods that the business deals in. If what is being purchased on credit is not what the business deals in, it cannot be recorded in the Purchases Day Book. Okay, as I said earlier, it is used for recording products purchased on credit by the business, and these products must be the products that the business deals in. The Purchases Day Book is also called the Purchases Journal. Now, how is it prepared? Just like other books of account explained earlier, the Purchases Day Book also records the dates that the products were purchased, the description of the products purchased, and the amount of the product purchased. At the end of the month, the total in the Purchases Day Book is transferred to the general ledger for closing entries. A quick illustration of the Purchases Day Book. Remember, we are still dealing with Mr. Yauvi, a wholesaler involved in the distribution of flour and sugar. In this illustration, he has approached you to prepare a Purchase Day Book for him for the month. These are the questions, and this is the suggested solution. The first transaction there says January 1st, purchased from Mr. Kingsley on credit 1,500 bags of sugar at 5,500 naira per bag, 2,000 bags of flour at 4,500 naira per bag. So what do? Here is the Purchase Day Book, having the name of Mr. Yauvi, who owns the business, the description stating what the book is, and then we have the date of the transaction. So we have 1st of January 2020, purchased from who? Mr. Kingsley. What was purchased? 1,500 bags of sugar at 5,500 naira per bag. So if we multiply 1,005 by 5,005, we have 8,250,000. He also bought from Mr. Kingsley 2,000 bags of flour at 4,500 naira per bag. If we multiply 2,000 bags by 4,500, we have 9 million. In total, on the 1st of January, as I was saying, in total, on the 1st of January, Mr. Yauvi bought from Mr. Kingsley a total product of 17,250,000. The second transaction says January 4th, purchased from Mr. Francis on credit 1,000 bags of flour at 4,500 naira per bag and 1,400 bags of sugar at 5,500 naira per bag. So let's prepare. The date says 4th of January 2020. Purchased from who? Mr. Francis. What was purchased? 1,000 bags of flour at 4,500 naira per bag. So if we multiply 1,000 by 4,005, we have 4,500,000. On the same date, he also purchased on credit from Mr. Francis 1,400 bags of sugar at 5,500 naira per bag. If we multiplied 1,400 by 5,500, we have 7,700,000. On the 4th of January, Mr. Yaovi bought from Mr. Francis a total product worth 12,200,000. Okay, the next transactions, that's January 12. Purchased from Mr. Hudson on credit 600 bags of sugar at 5,500 naira per bag. Let's prepare. On the 12th of January, bought from who? Mr. Hudson. What was purchased? 600 bags of sugar at 5,500 naira per bag. So if we're multiplying, as I was saying, if we are multiplying 600 bags by 5,500, we have 3,300,000. In total, Mr. Yaovi bought from Mr. Hudson products worth 3,300,000. The next transaction here says January 20th. Purchased from Mr. Kalu in cash 8,000 bags of sugar at 5,500 naira per bag. Now that takes us back to an understanding of what the Purchases Day Book is for. Remember, it's a specific book of account, and we defined it as a book of accounts used for recording goods purchased on credit. But if you look at this transaction, it is saying that Mr. Yaovi purchased from Mr. Kalu in cash. So because cash is involved, it is meant for another book and not this book. So under examination condition, this will not be recorded in the Purchases Day Book. Let's go on. The next one says January 28th, purchased from Mr. Brown on credit 400 bags of flour at 4,500 naira per bag. That is products bought on credit, and it is what the business deals in, so it will be recorded in the Purchases Day Book. So we say on the 28th of January, bought from who? Mr. Brown. 400 bags of flour at 4,500 naira per bag. So if we multiply 400 by 45, we have 1,800,000. So the next transaction says January 30th, purchased office furniture on credit from Luma stores worth 800,000 naira. That also takes us back to what the Purchase Day Book is meant for. Remember, we define it as a book used for recording purchases made on credit, and these purchases must be what the business deals in. Mr. Yaovi deals in flour and sugar, but here he's purchasing office furniture, which is not what the business deals in. As a result of that, and because it is a specific book, we are not to record these purchases in this Purchases Day Book. Now, because it is not meant for that book, then it can be recorded. So under examination condition, you are not expected to record this type of transaction in the Purchases Day Book. So it means that for the whole of the month, on the 1st, a total of 17,250,000 was purchased on credit. On the 4th of January, a total of 12,200,000 was purchased on credit. On the 12th of January, a total of 3,300,000 was purchased on credit. And on the 28th of January, a total of 1,800,000 worth of products were purchased on credit. In total, a total of 34,550,000 worth of products were purchased on credit. And this will be transferred to the general ledger debit. Now, we understand that the Purchase Day Book, it's for recording goods purchased on credit. We also understand called goods that the business deals in. We also understand that the Purchase Day Book can be called the Purchases Journal. Brings us to the end of this class. For questions and clarifications, please reach me on 08136506356 or send me an email, jeremiah.dosu@gmail.com. Thank you.